The one right here? Yeah.
And hey, we're going live. Look at that. We're all ready.
Right.
For the most part. Almost all ready. Some things are getting tweaked, you know.
Again, I'll take responsibility.
Again, it's a group effort, so it's on all of us.
No, I know, but as the person in charge, I take responsibility.
Semi in charge production manager over there.
I've got butter bar duties.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
So you are the resident butter bar guy?
It hurts me to say that, but I think yes, technically. if this is a chain of command, Lane is really a general, and I'm a butter bar.
We're nothing but peons.
We're all peons in a small little world.
There you go.
All right. How's your week going, Kevin?
Going fair. Work's been a little rough, but for the most part, it's fine.
Oh man, I know that feeling, my friend. I know that feeling. We're all set.
We are all set.
Uh,
You gonna bring us in?
Welcome.
yes, welcome
right way?
to the Daily Torch. Or we are the Daily Torch. I like we are the Daily.
the
I'm
Daily
sorry.
Torch.
Yeah, welcome, we are the Daily Torch.
Flame on.
That's literally enough of that.
You got
Disappointed lane face. The first 30 seconds.
You didn't even need disappointed Lane face. You just got disappointed Lane.
Yeah, the
it
whole
was
phrase
really
came
just the
out on
tone.
its
It was the
own.
tone that made it totally obvious.
All right, you guys. Would you like another story in Lane's daily driving adventures?
Yes.
Lane, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I had a really good week.
Oh, good.
And this one, I wasn't involved in this.
Oh.
Okay.
Except that I witnessed it.
Ooh. Even better.
So I'm driving to work this morning.
Yeah.
Right? Up Highway 50, about to turn on to 28.
Fair
Okay.
enough.
And there's a white minivan coming down. And
Yes.
first they look like they're going to make the turn to go off, the merge turn to go off onto 28. They slow down. Like, no. And I'm stopped waiting to make that left turn.
Right.
Nope. Okay, fine. And then they drive up to the intersection and they slow down again.
Okay.
Now they're right in front of me.
Yeah.
Like they're going to make just the right turn because they missed the turn. Nope. Now you have to imagine this entire time. In my head, what's happening is he's driving and she's screaming at him that they need to go or go straight or no, it's this one, no, it's that one. This in my head, this is what's playing out with the kids in the back. Then they miss that intersection.
Oh, no.
And this is the point where they both realize that they missed their turn. And instead of going down the highway to pull out and make a U-turn, they drove up what is effectively the off-ramp
Oh, no, God.
in the wrong direction.
Oh God. Oh God. Oh.
It was fantastic.
I don't know what happened last night as I was driving home. You know, at the top of Spooner,
Yeah.
you know, right where it turns into a concrete barrier
Yeah.
as you're going down towards Carson.
Yeah.
Last night I saw a cop a little bit down on the other side of the road.
On the oncoming side?
Yeah, the part that when you come up from Carson, you come
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's, must be a pullover or something. Because I saw hazards on. I was like, oh, maybe he just pulled somebody over.
Right.
I slowed down because I wanted to rubberneck. It was a red Toyota Camry facing the ongoing direction
No.
in a ditch. There was no ice last night. So someone drove that way probably 200 yards in the opposite direction. It looked bad.
Wow. What
Yeah.
time of night?
That's about 3 o'clock.
3 in the morning?
Yeah, 3
What
o'clock.
happened to my topic sheet?
I wonder if that...
It's on the ground.
oh, yeah.
I'll
It's
grab
down
it.
below.
I have to go grab my lighter anyways.
That's, I mean,
It's a holiday weekend. The end of the holiday week
yeah.
is just kooky drivers.
Yeah.
I've accepted it now at this point.
Well, I think-
kooky drivers.
I mean, I think kind of partially what it is that we've become, not we, there's a lot of drivers that have become accustomed to GPS driving, to that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, oh, it says to go here, but no, I want to go there. No, I don't want to go there. I do want to go where it said I should go.
GPS is terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
exactly.
tend not to use GPS. I basically, if I do need to use the maps, I just pull up the maps and like, all right, I need to get here. These are the roads I'm taking.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's fair. Lane, I don't know how you drive to incline every day. That's scary.
I mean, I get through it, right? Mostly just have to deal with slow drivers.
This is fair.
Today was a spectacular experience. Like watching that happen in real time was incredible.
Oh, I bet.
I was dumb. I was like, wait, are they going to do it? Are they gonna, in my head now?
Yeah.
Is it happening? Is this what's going on?
Oh,
Oh, look at that.
I think
We
I just
had a
got
drink.
treats.
yes,
Look at that.
yes, you did. Surprise.
Look at that. Fancy.
It's not your birthday, but happy birthday.
A very welcome deliver.
And then you know what? Like most of the time, you know, you're anticipating. You're like, yep. Oh, they didn't do it. And this, you're like, oh my god. Oh no, they're gonna do it. They're doing it. Like,
So it was an entertaining drive, wasn't it?
yeah.
At that
I mean,
moment.
unfortunately, it was 8:30 in the morning. There was no one going
That
like down
direction.
that road.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they just fully turned up that thing going the wrong direction.
Me and my brother had that same similar thing. My brothers, let me rephrase that. We had one of my mom's boyfriends, Philippine. He somewhat knew knew most of what was going on, but he did the same thing. He was taking us to our grandma's and then took a right onto the off-going ramp coming up.
Yep.
So he was driving down that as we were yelling at him.
I mean, the people that I've known that have done that in my life in the past were spectacularly drunk.
He was sober.
And like watching someone do it in a situation where there's like a 95% chance they're sober.
And they're just getting yelled at by their wife.
I mean, it was a white minivan.
Yeah. At 8:30 in the morning.
This is all bad
Yeah.
news.
You know,
all bad
Casey,
news.
your guy was definitely drunk.
Hey, what am I drinking?
Yeah.
I didn't even ask.
Well,
Oh, it tastes like bean. Is it Old Granddad? What is that? Or Baker's?
no, it's actually Elijah Craig.
The bottle that I
Oh,
have.
it's Heaven Hill. That's where I'm getting the nutty profile. Oh, is this
And-
the barrel? Oh, this is the rye?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a bourbony rye.
Did I pick
It
a
could
wrong?
have it could have been the sugary whatever it is Charlie just put in front of me that killed my palate.
Charlie wanted to pour you a sidecar,
Okay.
so he felt that a sidecar was
Oh, there's the rye notes. Yeah, there's a lot of caramel in that.
Sidecar?
yes a sidecar.
That's what that is.
never heard
That's
that
the name
name.
of that drink. That's
It's a brandy
was-
and triple sec martini effectively.
got it.
I thought it was a screwdriver there for a minute.
No, sidecar.
Oh man,
Yeah, no, it was fun. My week's been good though. Slammed. We were slammed all week.
I was about to
We're
say I
good.
bet you were busy.
We were busy. Ski week at that mountain is ridiculous. Like there are people every damn place.
Everywhere. Mm-hmm. And not just one or two everywhere. It's like 10 or 12 everywhere. It's packed.
It's packed. The numbers in the restaurant,
Yeah.
I think, were busier than Christmas to New Year's.
Really?
Yes, we were slammed.
Is
Wow.
that because we didn't have a lot of snow at Christmas? New
I don't
Year's?
know. I mean, it's always busy. I don't know. It was busy.
Well, I mean,
Casey's dying.
Yes, he is.
Casey, don't die.
I'm not dying. I'm sorry. I just didn't want to cough. At the
So,
microphone.
we were, as a nation, apparently heckling a 15-year-old kid because he couldn't beat the pros.
Oh,
Right?
it was bad.
what?
I didn't see any of the video of it. I just
It-
heard stories.
Are you talking about Charlie?
Yes.
Charlie Woods. So not only, I mean, I get it. You're Tiger Woods' kid.
Right.
So realistically, I think you should expect that you're going to get the Tiger Woods appearance group.
Yep, you're going to get heckled by him.
But they came out really mean.
Really hard?
Oh, yeah. Like he shanked one. It was just a bad fade
Right.
off of his 3-wood or something like that. It wasn't wasn't the greatest shot. I would have played it. I would have been really happy with it. But when your last name is Woods, that's probably a very disappointing shot. And they the crowd just went ballistic. They were calling him like all sorts of things, telling him how he should hit the ball. And the worst part of it is, I guess, that there were no rope barriers.
Oh, geez.
So
Oh, it was a pre-qualifier.
yeah, so these people, he had like 50 plus people following him.
And they're just
were
being shitbags?
Shitbags. They were like really close to him. And the people on the course kept saying like, hey, give him some space. He needs some space. And they just totally ignored him. They said if it hadn't been for his 2 security guards, it could have been a lot worse.
He's 15, right?
He's
Yes.
15.
Yes, he's 15.
86 is what he got. You're what, -2?
Yeah, I'm a +2.
It's
Index?
Yeah.
I mean,
How does
listen,
that work?
You can compare me to Charlie Woods, right? There's no comparison.
What?
Charlie Woods is going to be a PGA Tour golfer.
Well, yeah.
He's going to be one of the 25 best guys on tour.
I wasn't trying to compare you. I'm just trying to get an idea of what that means. So he's an 86.
Charlie-
Is the baseline 70?
Well, what he shot was 72, right? But your index is based on, it's like right now, it's like your 6 best scores of your last 20 rounds. Charlie Woods right now is probably a +1 or a +2.
Okay.
Charlie Woods is going to be a +5 or a +6.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be giving scratch golfers 6 or 7 strokes,
Nice.
like to make it fair.
How old? Well, but I'll say I'm a little derailed here. Soul Slasher, welcome, Soul Slasher. Good evening.
Yeah, Kevin's brother's making an
Hey,
appearance.
Kevin's
Yeah,
brothers.
my
here.
mom might actually message on here too. I actually showed her how
Oh,
to do
instead of
it.
texting?
Yeah, she'd been watching it on the TV, so she hasn't been like actually on her phone. So she's gonna pull it up on her phone maybe and message in as well.
And I'm,
Yeah,
I'm-
so anyway, back to Charlie Woods. I don't know what this is. Like, is it just let's make fun of him while we can because we know what he's going to be at some point?
I think people had nothing better to do.
I just think
Where was this?
I don't know what event it was.
It was in California, I think.
So what was an amateur?
No, it was one of the PGA qualifiers.
It was a pre-qualifier for the PGA Tour. So I think
Yeah.
it was a Monday qualifier.
Was it last Monday?
Thursday,
Yeah.
I think, is what the game was. The qualifier.
So like the week before they show up to the tournament, because Thursday would normally be a tournament day.
Okay, it just said Thursday is when he played.
Yeah, it was Thursday.
Yeah.
So it was the pre-Monday qualifier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did he need to be at to make the cut? Because he
It
didn't
depends
make,
on what everyone else shoots.
So he didn't make the cut.
I think he was 15 strokes off the cut. I mean, we're talking about, listen, he's 15. Like the
Right.
fact that he's even playing this is amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I
But
do
the
for
guys that he's playing against are still part of the 200 best golfers in the country.
Yeah, I would kill for an 86.
Yeah.
On the golf. I would kill for an 86. If I
Yeah.
shoot an 86,
I'm with ya.
I am gonna look at Lane and go in your face.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty disappointed when I shoot an 86, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a 15-year-old. I don't care if he's Tiger Woods' kid. He's 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're just being jerks about it.
Yeah. It was not a pretty day.
I mean, he's already got a better swing than 99% of the country.
Definitely
He's
has
got a
better
better
swing.
swing than I do. I mean, I make my swing work, but his swing is much prettier.
So here's, how old was he when Tiger started training him?
Oh, 3? I don't know.
Probably 3.
that right?
The
Yeah.
first time I saw him on TV with Tiger, he was 11, I
Okay.
believe. 11 or 12, and he hit a 262-yard 3-wood off the deck to 6.5 feet with a little fade. Like, what the are you doing?
oh man.
So, if anything, he just had an off day.
Sounds like
That's
he
what I
got the
would
jitters.
say.
Well, listen, you're going to do that. When you play tournament golf,
It's a lot of pressure, and
yeah, well, there's a difference between, like, I'm playing for a score and I'm playing for a score with a bunch of other people that are also playing for a score and trying to beat me.
Yeah.
Like, it gets real fast.
okay.
And golf is the greatest game played against yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because you're haunted by all the other players, but the only person you're playing with is you and your playing partner.
Yeah. But
What an interesting game.
well, and when you get a bunch of 50 plus people following you around,
Oh,
and the
gosh.
worst part is that people thought they were going to see Tiger as well. Like they thought Tiger, like one
Would
lady,
show up as
one,
well.
yeah, one grandmother took her daughter out to bring her to see. They were hoping to see Tiger and his son, but
Well,
Tiger.
part of that is they don't understand the rules, right? So the only person you're allowed to get advice from in a tournament round is your caddy. So unless Tiger's caddying for him, he doesn't do any good being out there.
Oh, because he's muzzled essentially.
Yeah, you can't say anything. The only person, not your coach, not anybody, the only person who's allowed to give you playing advice during a tournament round is your caddy.
So does that allow them to like focus in, kind of like go into a zone, so to speak, where they're not being I mean, it just kind of gives them some privacy zoning. In other words, he can block out the crowd that was heckling him.
Well, once you get past the pre-qualifier, you've got ropes up. So, like,
Right.
no one can get close to you anyway. You're still getting heckled, but you're getting heckled from 40 yards off.
Right.
Not right behind you. This is like Open Championship golf where they're right behind you.
And that's where I see what you're saying. Because I'm thinking that if
Like, they're pretty close on the tees.
so in his qualifier, his caddy was the only one that could really be giving him tips on what to do with the greens or with the
Yes.
fairways and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So doesn't that kind of like allow him to go into a zone where he can block out
He's 15.
Well, that's what you learn to do.
Yeah,
But you're not doing that.
yeah. Sorry.
Like the only person in my generation that was doing that at 15 is his dad.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
no, that's
Yeah.
that's very fair. That's very fair.
Rory, maybe.
Well, maybe Rory.
Rory
yeah.
might have been that focused at 15. But I mean, it's super rare. At 15, you're going to play some up rounds and some down rounds, and you're going to do some stuff that looks pretty stupid.
Yeah, it's a war.
It doesn't matter. He's still going to be a PGA Tour golfer.
Yes,
I mean,
he is going to be.
He's paying his
lights
dues
out.
right now, essentially.
Yeah, like they all have to.
Yeah.
He's paying them younger than most.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Anyway, before we get into the serious stuff,
Uh-oh.
I want to talk about F1. I want to jump into it.
Yeah, oh, you do,
We
huh?
can do that.
Yeah, you want to hear about F1? You want to hear about how fun it was?
Casey, why don't you give me-
season has started, my
Casey,
friend.
why don't you give me your understanding of what happened during testing?
I love this time of year every year. You know why? Because the cars are on the track in the sun, and Drive to Survive comes out. And I watched every episode of Drive to Survive already.
Is this
I
season
saw it
6?
out and I didn't have
It-
time to watch it.
It makes Formula One look so cool. It really does. Like, Formula One looks so cool. Maybe it's the music or just all the editing and cutting out the boring, like Max Verstappen won 19 races. They didn't talk about any of that shit. It was hilarious. No, this has been a very interesting few days of racing.
So
I
season,
liked it.
Season 6 is the most recent
Yes.
season, and it just came out.
It just came out. It focused predominantly on the middle field markers. There was a couple Ferrari episodes. There was a Mercedes episode. Actually, there was 2 Mercedes episodes. And then they talked about Haas. You know, we got to see Gunther Steiner for a while, which was really refreshing. I miss Gunther already. Then they covered Alpine going through their woes. And it was funny. But everyone is like, oh, I didn't see Lewis going to Ferrari. The second you see Lewis on the screen, you can tell he's unhappy with Mercedes.
Oh, yeah. I read an article.
Oh.
The headline was, "We saw Mercedes in testing, and we know why Lewis Hamilton is leaving."
Well, it wasn't even just that. Like, through Drive to Survive, right? Every time you're with Lewis, he's either talking to some of the other guys, and he's pissed off because there's a boom mic above him. He's like calling out Netflix while he's standing on the track. He's like, these fucking guys always have this boom mic over you. You can be in the bathroom taking a shit. They'll have a boom mic on you. He was not having it. And then the one that did it for me was he was at this track event thing for Mercedes cars. They were doing like a big exhibition driving thing with some, clearly it's one of the money-making things they do for people.
Right.
Okay.
And, George was already there. And Lewis shows up and he's like, oh, hey, what's going on? I've been up since 5. Like, I've been ready to go. And George's like, oh, I slept in past 8. I didn't have to be here till like 10. And Lewis was like, what the fuck? Like, what?
What's up
What?
with that?
I'm the older guy. I need
Yeah.
to sleep. Why did you guys tell me to get up so early? Like, what's going on here? And they were trying to like put the cameras together and get him mic'd up. And he's just standing around like, let's go drive the cars. Like, I'm here to drive the car. I'm not here to play this bullshit. And he legitimately steals a Mercedes 1 and just drives off. And they're like, Lewis, can you come back, please? Lewis, can you come back? And it was like, oh, the writing is clearly on the wall. I don't know how people didn't see that, but I liked it. There were some parts that they left out, obviously, because they're going to do that. They didn't talk really at all about Red Bull. You didn't see a lot of Red Bull.
What is there to talk about with Red Bull?
Yeah, so I was like,
they're
I'm
winning.
I'm not disappointed in that. I didn't want to see Max's face anyway.
Yeah.
Tired of Max's
You
face.
really don't like him, do you?
His attitude has always rubbed me the wrong way.
I thought you were okay with him in the beginning.
No, not in the beginning. He's lightened up. He's gotten a little bit more professional now because I think somebody gave him a stern talking to. But when he first came out, he was a dick, and I just did not appreciate that. But they did testing. Testing was very interesting. I will tell you now that we've started off this season, if you're playing F1 bingo, with how long it takes a Ferrari to hit a cover. It already happened.
Oh, really?
It is now drain cover 2 Ferrari 0. The turn 11 drain cover was dislodged by Hamilton's Mercedes, and then
Spit into.
Carlos Sainz's Ferrari sped right over it, and it just ate up the floor.
Oh God.
Was the car even functional after
Oh,
that?
it was totally drivable. They just had to replace some parts of the floor, but it was just like, oh, a drain cover already? This is amazing.
I mean, all right. So from what I saw, it looked like Ferrari is coming out of the gate as the second fastest team.
The Ferrari looked pretty solid.
It also still looked like it was a quarter second behind.
Well, though that's the problem is, you know, everyone was pretty much just doing the shakedown. The runtime stuff was a lot of people did long runs this time. Like Haas drove probably almost 500 laps just to test tire wear.
Yeah, I
they're
saw
trying
a
to get rid
bunch of
that.
360s and 370s for
Yeah,
laps.
yeah, they
like
were
a
all
lot of
doing
big
that.
lap counts.
But there was really no gremlins, really. The Williams guys, they had a fuel pump issue that made them stop. So that was kind of interesting, but they said they fixed it. But none of the other cars had those. Usually when the car comes out, it breaks down within 10 minutes, and then you're like, oh, great, what happened now? None of those
What
cars
are we
had that.
doing?
So are they in their tire regulations right now? So, I mean,
No, not for
No,
testing.
testing's
the-
just.
okay.
Testing.
I mean, the tires are still wholly owned by Pirelli, and they will reclaim all of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they get to test on whatever they want.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pirelli, and Pirelli brings the full line, C1 through 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can drive the C1s, the C3s, the 4s, the 5s, whatever you want.
Even the rain.
You joke about that because they're in Bahrain. Last week for preseason F2 testing,
Yeah.
they were driving on full wets.
Yeah.
It was a torrential downpour.
Did
in
Red Bull
Bahrain.
paint a big middle finger on the side of their hybrid zero pods?
You know, it's so funny to see that comparison now when you look at like everyone is taking all these bits and pieces from Red Bull, and Red Bull was like, you know, that zero pod thing is
Not a terrible idea.
idea.
If you just put it in this way.
Yeah, my name is Adrian Newey, and I can fix that. Yeah, I'm gonna fix that. But so on the fast times there, Sainz put in a 129.9, but he did that on the C4 tire,
And those are soft, right?
and that's a what used to be called super soft. So that's a
okay.
super soft tire. Next week's race, the soft tire will be the C3.
Well, I noticed
So-
that Max
Was
on the
129.9 the fastest lap on the track?
Yes, that was the fastest lap that they could do. With who knows what the fuel load was, who knows what the
Yeah,
engine
they're
mode
not.
was.
They're not telling anybody that.
Yeah, no one's really telling us what's going on. Really, we'll know how everyone sits on day of qualifying.
So they get 3 sets of tires, right? 3 different. Like you have
Well,
hard,
not-
soft, and then mediums.
No, so Pirelli
but not
brings
in
3.
testing. But not in testing.
No, testing, whatever. But during a race weekend, you are given 3 compounds of tires, and they're designated C1, C2, C3, C4, C5. 5 being the soft. They used to
Oh.
call that the ultra soft.
Wait, hold on. My fantasy competitor is going to be in here on Thursday.
Oh, you best believe we're watching. we're watching qualifying.
Are you doing it again?
It's going down.
I don't know. I haven't heard a peep from him except for, can we have a private birthday party in your shop? And I was like, yeah, sure.
Sure, come on down. Get heckled. get heckled about your Formula One loss.
But he's going to be here.
And how many others did he say?
Wait, hold on, real fast. I did watch the Dodgers put up like 27 against the Padres
Oh, dude.
in the
but that-
first game.
But that's the
dude.
Padres. I mean, and
Dude,
it's spring.
listen,
And it's
you
springtime.
can talk down the Dodgers all you want. They are going to truck people this year.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, they're just going to.
and that's without Otani. He's showing up on Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Yes,
It
he
was
is.
27 without Otani.
Yes.
It wasn't actually 27. I think it was 16 or 17.
it was,
a
yeah.
lot.
It was
Yeah.
embarrassing.
They're just going to truck people. this
14
year.
to 1 is what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, well, even the Giants, I mean, against the Cubs, lost 8-4. I mean, so it's spring training. It's all over the place, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's not going to matter when you're talking about the Dodgers.
I feel like you should
And
always play your A game.
I am not a Dodgers fan.
I know you're not.
He's an Angels fan.
They,
my
dude,
grandpa.
they're the juggernaut this year.
Yep.
They're gonna steamroll people all season, and then they're gonna get to the playoffs, and we're gonna see if they can play against playoff pitching.
Well,
That's what's gonna happen.
But, I mean, they got to stay healthy. I mean,
They don't
like-
have to stay healthy.
No.
What do you mean they don't have to stay?
They've got more bats than every other team by 2.
They
could lose a couple of people, and they still have more bats than every other team by 1.6.
So what you're saying is they have depth.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean,
What can you say?
Nothing.
Nothing.
That's all I can say.
That's
is,
pain coming
Yeah.
out right there.
Oh,
Who's your brother's team?
Dodgers.
Okay.
My grandma,
Oh.
we kind of, with my grandma,
Yeah,
used
yeah.
to watch it. My
Dude.
grandfather and my aunt are the Angels, though.
They are going to good call.
That's sad.
we're not going to be any good.
Exactly. So
The
how's a
Dodgers
good
are going
call?
to truck people this year. That's all there is to it. Like
Yeah.
it's going to be that season.
I think the A's. I think the Angels, the Giants, and the A's, of course, the A's are going to be disappointing this next season.
Oh, the A's who don't know where they're playing and are trying to sign a lease to get back into the Coliseum before they move to Vegas are going to be disappointing. You don't say.
Well, I mean, they beat
What?
the A's.
just
What?
a side note, you know. Just a
They
side-
beat the A's 4-2 is what he says.
Hey, you know, if you pick a team you're never surprised in, like I did, then you'll be fine.
No, the A's are going to be terrible. The Angels are going to be mediocre, maybe mediocre plus.
We're not going to be any better than terrible.
I mean, listen, you guys didn't look bad last year. You
Yeah,
looked like you were close.
But there's such a change going on. I mean,
I don't think it's that. I think they hate your GM and they refuse to fire him.
Oh.
exactly. Not only, yeah.
Did they get rid of the coach?
Well, the team,
Yeah.
yes, they
Yeah.
did, and the team is young. I mean,
Yeah.
it's young, and it's not really. I mean, they got a few anchors, but they don't have any World Series
No.
anchors unless
Cleveland.
The Guard Indians.
The Guard Indians, yes.
Yeah, they don't have any. I mean, they're young. They don't have any World Series anchors except maybe Crawford. I was trying to find out if Crawford was coming back, and I think Sandoval is going to be.
No, he's going to the Dodgers.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, but you listen. You didn't know who the first World Series you guys had. You didn't know who your World Series anchors were until you won the game.
True.
So that's. I mean, you're not going to know until it happens. That's kind of the deal.
Yeah, but I mean, they had Belt, they had Crawford, they had Posey.
But you didn't know how talented those guys really were until the end of that season.
Well, not just the end of that season, but the end of the first five years of the teens. You know,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they won a World Series, and you went, "Oh, we have a World Series team," but no one knew that going into the first part of that season, except for Kruk and Kipe, who believe that every year.
right?
Yeah.
Sure. But I mean,
Someone has to believe it.
but here's the thing: it's like that can't be said about the Dodgers right now. The Dodgers, you know that they've got anchorage.
Yes, because they paid for them.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who their clubhouse anchor is. Like, I don't know who their clubhouse guy is.
First baseman, Bellinger.
Okay.
I think that
I'll take your word for it. I don't
yeah,
know.
I would say Bellinger and Betts, Mookie.
Like, your guys' clubhouse guy was
Oh.
the Kook.
The
Yes.
Cougs.
Played in the outfield, high socks.
Oh,
The Cougs.
Pence.
Hunter Pence.
Hunter Pence.
High socks.
Well, he was
I
one.
like
Yeah, he was. No. Hunter was special.
Get
That's
that
for sure.
damn high sock wearing outfielder.
Watching him throw a baseball was just like the most awkward thing you could see. But he did it with accuracy, even though he was so awkward.
That's because he was afraid of baseballs.
No,
He had to pick him up. He's like, ew.
he didn't know. He didn't know how to get rid of it. He just got rid of it. You know, it was.
But he was your clubhouse guy.
Was he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Before-
100%.
Well, yeah, because Bonds was gone by then, wasn't he?
Oh, and Bonds was never the clubhouse guy. Bonds was the talent on the field. I mean, Bonds' chair was set off away from everybody else. Like his locker was distanced from the room.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Bonds was not a clubhouse
I
guy.
thought his chair was in.
Oh, yeah. No, listen. I will gladly say that Bonds is the greatest hitter I've ever seen.
Right.
And also the biggest dumpster fire in the clubhouse maybe baseball's ever had. Well, in my lifetime. I mean, he was, by all accounts, just not interested in people.
Had Mays already retired by the time you got interested in baseball? He probably did, didn't he?
If he hadn't, he did when I was very, very young.
No, he played for us for a while. Willie Mays Hayes.
You do.
Oh, God.
That's
Disappointed.
enough out of you in the corner.
And we had
Willie Mays Hayes.
Serrano. We had some good
You,
guys. Okay?
you may run like Mays, but you hit like shit. Anyway. Well, look, I mean, I'm glad baseball's back because there's stuff to watch again.
Yeah.
I know you guys like hockey. I can't do it until the playoffs.
No, I found a new sport that I like.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, ice football.
Ice football?
Ice football. It's,
Where do you find this shit?
I go to places on the dark web and I find apparently there's a sport. It's arena football played on a hockey rink.
Yikes.
and it's fantastic to watch.
That sounds terrible.
It's in German though, so I don't really know what's going on most of the time, but I do understand when they say touchdown. So I'm just like, okay, I
like,
get that.
yeah.
Do you understand when they say touchdown, or have you just inferred that it's a touchdown because they're yelling?
Well, that's just because touchdown comes up on the screen. I don't think they have a German word for touchdown. So
Oh, dude, Kevin's brother has seen it.
see, it's not me. It's amazing. Yes, thank you, Kevin's brother. See, I'm waiting for them to start doing it over at T-Mobile down in Vegas. Like, let's go. Let's get the arena
Hey, we
ice
could.
hockey.
And, hey, no, we could
We
do
could
it
do it
right
up
up.
here.
We could do it in the parking
Yeah,
lot.
football, we're
Do
good to
in the
go.
parking lot.
I
It-
mean,
it's
don't
hilarious.
they have an ice rink in that
They
thing?
do.
Yeah,
They
that's
do.
what I'm saying.
We could
Yeah.
do it there in
Yeah.
the parking lot, anywhere.
No, so they don't wear skates. They have shoes on. So it's,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
it's-
but
it's
they're
gotta have
like
spikes.
grippy shoes.
They
Yeah.
gotta have
Yeah.
spikes.
but it's like watching penguins run with a football. It's hilarious because they're like, oh, I don't want to fall. Oh, I don't want to fall. It's amazing. You have to. I'll show you a video. You guys have to see it. It's awesome.
Did your brothers think about going to a rugby game?
The rugby's fun.
Rugby. I can't get into rugby.
Our buddy Seth actually goes.
So I don't listen. Rugby is a legitimate sport.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
My only problem with rugby was in that hostel that I owned. All the European kids that would come through, and they're like, "Why does American football need pads? Like, rugby's like."
Oh,
I had such a hard time.
Because our sport makes
explaining to
everybody
them.
slightly.
I can
challenged.
actually answer this
Yeah.
with the scientific version I saw.
Oh, let's hear it.
So ESPN Sports did a little thing where they did sports science, and they had a SWAT officer use the door breaker, to bump a lock. And
Yeah.
they put a pressure plate behind it to see if the force was.
Yeah.
A 20-pound door lock exerts 800 pounds onto a door to open it.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So when you swing it, it goes to about 15 to 20 miles per hour, and 800 pounds is what hits the door, and that's what opens it.
Okay.
They then had Ray Lewis
Hit the door.
hit the door at a full Ray Lewis speed. He took the door off the hinges, broke 20 screws in there, and they maxed out the pressure pad at 1,000 pounds. He accelerated to almost 20 miles per hour, and he hit the door with 1,000 pounds of. It's 200 more than the door knocker the cops.
How much
used.
space? How much space did he take before he ran into it?
Literally 10 yards.
Oh,
He
10
was
yards.
he was going full sprint, 10 yards into a door, and he hit it for 1,000 pounds.
Damn.
That's why you wear pads.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I tried to explain this to these guys. Like, don't get me wrong, rugby is extremely legit. But if American football players didn't wear pads, someone would die every week.
Well,
Yes.
nowadays for sure.
Oh, dude, those guys are so big.
Back then, not so much, but these guys have gotten 3 times the size that they used to be.
Dude, the combine record for bench pressing 225, right? 225 is sort of the magic number. Like, that's when you can bench press a respectable weight,
Yeah.
right? If you're really good, people who work out more than casually but not as a professional athlete will get to where they can do it 8 times or something, and that's really strong.
Right.
I believe the combine record for pressing 225 is 61 reps.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I think
Of 225 pounds, 61 times.
Yes.
I saw that video actually.
Yes.
I was sitting there watching. I'm like, no way, and I'm just sitting there counting along with them. Like, no,
That's impressive.
he's taking it down too. He's bringing it all the way down.
Yeah. Well, you have to. They don't count it.
Exactly.
There's no explanation for these guys.
no.
Yeah.
Monsters. That's what they are.
Yeah,
Monsters.
they're crazy.
The Monstars.
It's not Space Jam.
It could be.
I couldn't squat 225, 61 reps. I'm not sure I could press the bar 61 times.
How many times can you press the bar at 225 though?
No.
The most I could ever do was 12.
That's
Right
still
now, I
pretty
could
damn
probably
good.
do 5 or 6.
I can tell you how many I could do.
One.
Big old goose egg.
I bet you could do one.
After it crushes me.
Yeah.
It's not even a rep. It's a half a rep where it goes like this and then slams down. I'm not,
And then you're like, Lane, take the bar. Lane, take the bar. Lane, take the bar.
yeah, help.
Oh, it's 51, not 61. I don't care. That's still gigantic.
Oh, yeah.
That's unreal.
I mean, that's just
Close enough.
so much.
That's
fucking
a
weight.
lot.
He could have gone 61 if he had more time.
Exactly.
So Justin Ernst is who
Holds the record.
holds the record, but who does Justin Ernst play for? Or does
He didn't get drafted.
He didn't get drafted. No. He has
I
to
mean-
find another sport.
Dude, like that's a like everyone benches, so everyone kind of gets it. But there were guys like I forget who the guy's name was for the Falcons. He was a running back for the Falcons, and he had to buy like 42-inch waisted jeans to get over his thighs, even though he had like a 32-inch waist, and his leg press was like 2,700 pounds.
Jesus.
Yeah.
What's yours?
I don't know. I don't really leg press.
Oh, okay.
That's
How
a
many
lot.
pounds?
2,700.
100.
100.
Yes.
2,700 pounds. That is massive weight.
Isn't that
That's
half a ton?
That's a Volkswagen Beetle.
That's not, in fact, half a ton. That's almost a ton and a half.
Yeah, because a ton is 2,500 pounds, isn't it?
Ton's 2,000 pounds.
2,000?
2,000 pounds.
Oh, I see. I thought a ton was like 5,000 pounds.
2,000 pounds.
2,000 pounds for a ton.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Now, mind you, it's at an angle, right? So you have to do a trig problem to figure out what it actually is. Don't care,
Yeah.
because that's a lot of weight. Yeah.
That's also a lot of math. Trig is hard.
All right.
God bless me.
What else is going on this week? I've been locked up in a ski resort for the last week. What's going on?
Gee. Oh, gee, darn.
Well, I didn't get to ski.
It wasn't ski. It
Still,
wasn't on vacation.
You were in the mix.
Yeah, no, it was nice.
I'll bet.
I do like it's a fun.
That's a fun place to go and be in the mix, so to speak. It's like the North Star campus is just a fun place to go and be.
It really
It's
is a
kinda-
cool
it's-
village.
It's kind of like going to Park City and being in Park City itself, rather than at like Park City, the ski resort.
And you understand when you're up there why people with the money to go there instead of Heavenly.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, sure.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense.
Because you're walking out of the village, like whatever condo or hotel you're in, you take an elevator down, you
And
walk
you're there.
across the lot, and you're at the gondola.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's right there.
and
Oh, yeah, it's right in the middle of it.
Heavenly's solution to that was the gondola out of the village.
Which is an exceptional solution, but it still doesn't have that sort of high dollar ski
No.
village feel
No, it doesn't.
that North Star has. And I think North Star even feels like Squaw's an incredible mountain, but I think as far as the village goes, I think North Star is a better village.
I would say so.
I don't know. I haven't been to Palisades in quite some time.
Oh, yeah, Palisades,
and I was
sorry.
Palisades.
I was there in the summer, and the summer was kind of impressive.
Well, I think it's really nice up there.
Yeah.
But North Star's village, especially in the winter when it's bustling, just feels a lot like Park City.
Yeah, makes sense. Or I although I've never
Well,
been there,
the canyon side of Park City, I should say.
Ah.
canyon side of Park City. Okay, I get that.
Well, because there's nothing that really feels like Park City, where like you're skiing into the town. That's kind of rare.
Although you
Yeah.
can do that, right?
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. But
Oh.
like on the Park City side, the Park City side is its own thing.
Yes.
Like
yes.
super unique. Like it's why it's Park City.
Right.
But the canyon side feels a lot like North Star.
I wonder if Deer Valley would feel more like North Star.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
I think Deer Valley is on a like we
Ex-
have money level in its own. It's like Deer Valley, Jackson Hole, and probably parts of Whistler.
Oh, the village at Whistler?
Yeah.
Yeah, outdoes North Star tenfold.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But like this, there's a separate category. When you're talking about Deer Valley, it's Deer Valley, Jackson Hole, and Whistler. I think that's probably the end of the conversation.
I can't. I haven't been to Deer Valley other than at night in the parking lot smoking a cigar.
That's fair.
It's not like I've been on the
That's
mountain over there.
entirely my fault for not being a competent enough skier to go
Right.
up on a skier-only mountain.
Hey, Deer Valley's going to be there for a lot longer, and you can become that competent skier that will do Deer Valley. I wonder if they'll ever.
No.
No.
Is it just
No.
because you have more?
And they're expanding.
Is it just
Yeah.
because you have more fun on the snowboard that you don't pick up the skis as much, or?
Yeah. Well, spent like last season, I got so many powder days If it's a powder day, I'm taking out a snowboard.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Thursday, maybe.
This week,
Yeah.
I'm working.
Oh yeah.
Thursday, well, we're supposed to get like 10 or 11 inches on Thursday, almost 2 feet at lake level on Friday, and then another 6 or 7 inches on Saturday.
So this is Miracle March.
Snow.
Starting off Miracle March.
Yeah.
I'll
It
believe
could
when
be
I see it.
good. Listen, negative Nancy over there. That's quite enough.
I have been disappointed by these storms for the past 3 months
No,
now.
you haven't. You've celebrated the fact that there was no snow in these storms. Don't lie to me.
Well, I mean, I already
Yep,
got
yep,
more
yep,
snow
yep,
than you
yep, yep,
guys.
yep.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. We did get more snow than you guys.
I don't know what you're celebrating. I had 12 inches at my house while y'all had 2. I was really disappointed.
Oh my God.
Because this storm's coming down from Canada, I think they were saying.
Alaska.
Oh, so it's a friendly storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a
coming
good
from the
storm
Gulf-
for
It's
us.
coming from the Gulf of Alaska, and we're supposed to get considerable amount tomorrow. We're supposed to get about 6 to 8, is what.
Yeah, I
they're-
want to go up tomorrow on the Nevada side.
Oh, no doubt.
I'm going to
Yeah.
try and go because I didn't make it up. I had the stuff in the car.
Well, text me if you do.
I didn't make it up because we had our family dog.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
again.
Sorry.
Text me if you make it up
I
tomorrow.
will.
The only thing about tomorrow is winds. They're anticipating.
Well, that's why I want to go up the
yeah.
Nevada side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because then it won't be windy.
So
Well-
I saw the notes. We are unabashedly building Skynet, it seems.
Yes.
Unabashedly is not even
A word?
It's happening. It is. We have committed.
So-
Unabashedly is the appropriate word there.
Yeah.
Definition would be nice, but
AI weapons.
Without restraint,
Yes.
shamelessly,
Yes.
with
Yes.
full rigor.
well, I saw this when I was just puttering around online. It came out in December. Well, actually, it came out in January of last year, then December, and then they had a small update this January.
Yes.
But like I was looking at it, and I'm like, this could go sideways relatively quick if we're giving robots the chance to kill people.
Well,
Can and will.
that's because it was brought up last
But
February.
hey, but don't worry, it's going to be a training exercise.
It definitely is.
So there, I noticed in the
Yes.
notes it says we're implementing a new network of automated drones into the field to keep up with China.
Yes.
Yes.
So last year in February,
Yeah.
the U.S. got together and held a summit about artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Because apparently there were reports that artificial intelligence is being developed with drone technology from other countries,
Sure.
which makes sense. We have a lot of drones. Some of them disappear in places, and then they end up on trucks, and those trucks get driven to other places, and people take them apart and start copying them. Just happens.
We do understand that China cannot actually produce the chips needed for AI, right?
Yes, yeah.
Those are coming from somewhere
Ooh.
else.
those are coming from someone.
Speaking of chips, like they found $2 billion worth of elements that we use in technology just here in the States.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
we're going to
yeah.
give them a run for their money now.
Right. We
A little
always
bit more.
were.
We
Well,
always
yeah,
said.
but we have 2 billion more now.
We have more than that if we just go explore Nevada a little bit.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
You know how many mines are out in Nevada?
And they are doing, but they are doing that too. They are mining in Nevada like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
in
Yeah.
certain spots.
And they'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think there's this thing where we don't want to deplete all of our resources. We would like everyone else to do that first and then just buy it.
Right.
And then we'll have it in reserve.
Yes.
Yes.
That's very fair. But it wasn't just China. It was China, Iran, India, and I think Pakistan and Korea.
Okay.
North Korea. They were North Korea.
So all the like the usual suspects.
The
as it
usual
were.
suspects, and the usual suspects also did not sign the initiative either.
of course.
on AI.
Yeah, we put together that political declaration of responsible military use and artificial intelligence.
Yeah, this is going to be
Codenamed
this
Renus.
is going to go bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know any other way to put it. It's going to go bad.
I'm still
So-
hoping for them to put that shield up around Earth, kind of like I was telling Casey. I'm hoping for Stark's idea.
Yeah. You want a suit of armor
Yeah.
around the world? Yeah.
I mean, I'd be okay with that.
I mean, realistically, this conversation did seem like the beginning of Iron Man 2.
Exactly.
It really was like, oh, you want to talk about AI? Okay, well, North Korea, 10 years. Iran, 8 years. And Hammer Tech, 20 years.
Are we going to actually need extra funding for this, or are we going to be able to just do it out of the
no, we're gonna take it out of
regular
the-
budget?
Yeah.
The
Turns out.
unnamed massive budget of the DoD.
Turns
Oh,
out
yeah.
we didn't talk about funding at this institution get together. We just said, oh, we need to use this responsible. However, on the back end, we are also going to start making weapons. The idea is to test like more advanced drones. I mean, I don't know how we get more advanced drones
I'm
at this
just-
point.
I'm curious because when I think about it, if you think about it, there's supposed to be 3 laws, and one of them's not to hurt human beings, right? At least if you go.
The three laws of robotics by Isaac Asimov.
Yes, essentially.
That's a very fun world where fiction and reality don't exist.
You're not wrong.
It doesn't work that way, my friend.
But I mean, just to grant them that ability in general, just to go around and take out, regardless of if they're bad or good, just taking out people.
Right, but what we're not talking about like true artificial intelligence.
Not yet.
They misuse. We've had this conversation before. It's a misuse of the word artificial
It's
intelligence.
generative AI.
Yeah, it's AI that's a little smarter and does better quantum.
We've fed it a bunch of information, and it's basically sifting through it really fast. What it does is predict the answer that we want,
Yes.
Right.
not the answer that it thinks is best.
Right.
Okay.
These
Right?
are not,
And there's a huge difference.
yeah, these are not commander datas yet. That's artificial intelligence.
But even then, if we're just giving it commands for it to generate at a faster rate,
Yes.
without us being there,
Well, there's
doesn't that
supposed
pose
to be
the problem that they're just going to start taking out random people?
Well, there's supposed to be supervisory human interface with it. Like, right now we have drones. We have drone operators that sit in a Connex box in the middle of the desert and fly a drone 2,000 miles away.
In AC.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're advancing right
So
now.
is this like, all right, drones up in the air, enemy planes there.
Yep.
Drone poses a question to human supervisor, should I take this plane out? Yes. And then it uses generative AI to outfly the fighter pilot and take out the plane. Is
Yeah,
this what we're
th-
talking
this
about?
is basically what we're talking about.
Okay.
Until the problem is that if quantum computing takes off and we get a smarter chipset and we get faster response times, then you have to worry about a computer starting to generate its own type of algorithm that allows it to think like that.
Well, unless it's true AI, unless you build in, you can build in a block that freezes it at certain stages.
Yeah.
So what if somebody hacks into it then?
Well,
It just-
then you would
Well,
just
it's
be
the same as
Can
any
they?
other computer.
yeah, it's the same thing.
But-
You could change its program to identify friendly targets as enemies, or you could do that theoretically.
Right.
But someone still has to be in a supervisory control role. Really, what this does is just eliminate the need for us to instead of sending a platoon full of soldiers, we can send a whole
12.
fleet of drones and not have to risk anyone's life. That's kind of what the idea.
What scares you more? The AI drone or the AI Boston Robotics dude with a machine gun?
Dude, the Boston Robotics thing that jumps and flips and runs and,
Yeah.
and doesn't fall over when you kick it.
Yeah.
That scares the shit out of me.
Because, it's one thing, yes, they're both the Terminator, right? But one, super intimidating, but also in the air dealing with other problems. The other one, you're staring at,
coming at you.
colloquially, eye to eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. My problem is there are so many movies that cover this. You'd think we would have learned by now.
No, not
Yes.
at all.
We'd hope we'd learn.
Terminator, Universal Soldier,
iRobot.
RoboCop. I mean, come on.
Yeah. All,
iRobot, that counts. I'll give you that one.
none of them inaccurate.
Yeah.
All the problems we've written about in these movies are going to happen.
Oh, 2001: A Space Odyssey,
Oh yeah.
the HAL 9000.
Yeah.
Hello, Dave.
I can't do that, Dave.
I'm sorry, Dave.
The worst part about, at least the others are built intimidating. The worst part about 2001 is the voice.
Yes, he's just so nice.
I can't do that, Dave. Yeah. You're like, that is creepy as
That's
shit.
creepy. I'm sorry, Dave. I can't open the door. Yes, you can open the door, Hal. I can't open the door, Dave. You're like, I'm gonna die, and he's nice about it. This is the worst.
Yeah, he's literally going to throw me out an airlock, and he's being polite.
Oh, but the initiative is called Replicator.
We
By the
couldn't
way.
have thought of a
Oh, is
better
that right?
name.
Has no one seen Stargate SG-1? The Replicators were a terribly scary artificial intelligence that just ate stuff and replicated itself to eat more stuff.
Well,
like, come on.
all the news outlets are giving it different names too.
Art, hold on, I have a question.
Wasn't that the Borg?
I have an immediate
No,
question.
that's Star Trek.
No, but isn't the Replicator storyline just a technical ripoff of the Tribbles?
If the Tribbles were mechanical and had the mentality of the bugs,
Like I said, a
from-
technical ripoff.
Yeah, it is, because it's basically just the metal bugs from Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. They're just tiny.
So this can't really go well.
No.
There's almost no way for this to go well. Like, the go well scenario is everything works perfectly and we get what we want, and then we also take what we've got and turn it into this utopia. Like, the number of assumptions that are going to go wrong in that singular sentence are immense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Very much so. Very good.
How long do you think it'll take for them to develop this?
I mean, if they're talking about it now, they had it 5 years ago.
Yes.
So the plan is to implement new drone weaponry by 2026.
Oh, fairly,
Yeah.
fairly soon.
Yeah, really, the answer is: does the United States government come out with new drones, or does Ford build a better F1 engine?
When
Because
did-
they're both
Or is
happening in
2026 when they admit that they have it?
Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
When
Or
did
we're
you
like,
guys want to light up those cigars? We're 50 in.
Yeah.
You want to start now?
Another. Because are we going for an hour?
Are
Hour
we,
20?
are we going to smoke it so far down that we can't review it like last time?
Well,
I
let's
don't-
wait until.
I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
don't think so.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's wait for 110 before we light up.
All right. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Hey,
Oh, actually,
Because we got topics.
going back to Formula One, I forgot to mention Ford made a comment.
Oh,
yeah?
was it good? Were they pot stirring?
So, the Christian Horner thing,
Yes.
right? The investigation, which is supposed to conclude by Wednesday, we are going to hear the results of this allegation, this whole thing. Ford came out and said that they have a strong family backing, and that they hold themselves to a higher accountability, and it may interfere with how their participation goes in building their engine if Red Bull doesn't handle themselves accordingly. Like, they basically flat out and said, if this isn't to our liking, we may not do business with you.
Yeah, but a lot of that's PR, right? What
It
they're
is,
really
it is,
saying
it
is,
is, yeah.
write the report well.
Yeah.
Like, take it seriously. But, if he's the guy that helps you win races, also keep him.
Also keep him.
Yeah.
Yes.
The other funny thing that they mentioned about was Adrian Newey. Because, Lewis is going to Ferrari,
Yes.
right? And he really went because of Fred Vasseur. And Fred Vasseur is building Ferrari by buying a bunch of the Mercedes guys and the Red Bull guys. And they were talking about, well, how did they get Adrian Newey? And the answer came out from, I think it was Julian Palmer. And he says, you know how you get Adrian Newey to build a Ferrari? You promise him that he can build a Ferrari road car as well as build an F1 car. And I guarantee you Adrian Newey goes to Ferrari. And I was like, oh, I would love to see Adrian Newey develop a a Ferrari and a road car. That would
Does
be fantastic.
Adrian Newey go to Ferrari considering what Red Bull is going to pay him?
I think at this point Ferrari would just write him a blank check.
You think so?
I think if you've got Lewis and you say you want to build a car for Lewis, but also you get to develop a road car, do you want to do that? It turns out he's also developed a car that would pass out people.
Oh, I believe it.
Like
Yeah.
it goes so fast it makes him pass
Yeah,
out.
apparently he's developed a car theoretically without any limitations or rules. You would have to wear a G suit to drive it
Really?
because you would pass out from the G forces that it could exert
I would,
technically.
I would want to drive that.
I was like, that sounds cool. I want to know what that car looks like. Like, let me see your little notebook.
I wanted to be in the seat and see how it feels.
But it was cool. They were also talking, they were talking about how the advancements are in engineering, just in Formula One, mirror what we were doing in like space, like NASA. Like they were talking like it's legitimately when Formula One goes to Texas, almost all the engineers from every team make it their chance to go to Houston to take a look tour at NASA. Like NASA brings all the engineers, lets them play around and have fun and all that fun stuff, and they have a blast.
I mean, I'm surprised they don't go to Kennedy when they're in Miami.
I think they're going to start, but they get a big welcoming in Houston when all the engineers come.
I mean, I think they would at Kennedy too.
Yeah, they probably would. I don't doubt that at all.
I mean, where we launched the moon missions, where we launched the space shuttle, like they could actually go see the equipment.
I mean, we talk about space travel. We landed a new one on the moon, right?
Yeah, we have officially landed a device publicly on the moon.
Yeah, but
But it was-
the manufacturer, the guy who built it, says it's on its side.
It did.
It's funny.
It's
We
everything
had
still
this
works.
problem before.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah, it turns out that when Neil Armstrong tried to land on the moon, he almost tipped over the moon lander. It's not like this was a new problem. I don't know why no one thought about
Yeah,
this.
because they were going 6 miles an hour down and then 2 miles this way and caught the leg and landed on a rock.
It legitimately had the same problem as Neil Armstrong. They came down, and from above, you're like, oh, we can land over there. It looks fine. And then the closer you get, you're like, that's a really big boulder. I don't think we can land over there. And then you start skimming the surface looking for where you can land, and you realize there's just tons of boulders and rocks and all these craters and stuff. And you're trying to land towards the South Pole because that's where they're trying to do the research. And it's all just hard. There's no flat space. So they got lucky. It landed even in one piece.
What is the purpose of this? I mean, we already know we can do it. We did it 60 years ago.
Right.
So this is an initiative that NASA's put together where they've, instead of developing their own space shuttle and devices, they built an initiative where they challenge companies to do all of the manufacturing work, basically. So this device is what they call, it's Odysseus, and it was designed to go up and do basically more research for how equipment handles now compared to the equipment we put 50 years ago, how it reacts to the temperature, how it collects data, what the pressures are like on the moon. We're basically heading towards trying to land a long-term moon project.
Okay. So this is the goal.
Yeah, the goal is to eventually get to the moon with people.
So is the
for
next
a
step to
long time.
take the International Space Station and move it to the moon?
No, it wouldn't make the trip.
No. I don't mean the internet. I don't mean like the actual piece of equipment. I
But
mean
making a
like
base.
the purpose
Yes.
that it served for the last 20 years.
Yeah,
Or 25 years that it's been in the sky.
well, yes.
Like now we're taking that project and taking it out of space and putting it on another planetoid.
Yeah, well, the long-term goal is Mars.
Yeah.
Are
and
you-
Yeah,
then-
so this
I
would
was
be
just gonna
so
say.
we're actually looking at what's next. This
Yes.
isn't just rehashing old shit.
yeah,
No,
This is reconnaissance to be able to do Mars.
Yes.
they also
See, now that's
Yeah.
exciting. They should lead with that. Like, this is the goal. Instead, the headline, like, we landed on the moon. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. What? Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I
we
think
did
we
this
did that.
again because why?
deja
yeah.
vu. Anybody?
yeah.
No. Yeah. So this is it's a whole project from NASA to establish what the sensors collect from the southern pole, because what we think of the southern pole, there's a bunch of water, like ice.
Right.
So the goal is if we can get ice, you've seen this, Will, like in all for all mankind.
Yeah.
Remember, the goal was to find ice on the moon. Then you can build a base. If
water
you can build
source,
a base
yeah.
with water, then you can build anything, and you can run on hydrogen. You can do all the fun stuff you need to do.
Right.
So this goal is to send equipment up, get the equipment flowing, and collect its 7 days of data before the dark side kind of turns over out of the sun. And what happens after that is the
Another-
machine is going to turn off because it doesn't have solar power anymore.
Oh, right.
Assuming it makes the 7 days of solar power, because it doesn't have insulation for the dark side. It's not designed to be in the dark,
right.
so it has to be in the sun.
So the Mars. Go ahead.
Why couldn't they build the battery banks to continue to have power though it's in the dark? Is it too
'Cause-
cold?
Yeah, it's just too cold.
Okay.
This isn't a big device. This is a small device.
Right.
Like, we're lucky it made it. This is. There's been 4 previous tests. They've all failed before. Japan tried one a couple years ago. It blew up.
So
Stuff like
that's
that.
why there's so much excitement about the fact that
Yes,
this one landed.
this one landed. This one made it. Albeit on its side.
Right.
They thought they lost it for a minute, and then I think 20 minutes later, the UK picked it up
Ah.
because it had tipped over and was sending back a slower signal. So they were like, "Oh, it actually made it. We did it. Yes."
Nice.
So we'll see. But NASA's got a big projected plan for,
Mars.
if this goes, then they challenge other people.
Did you hear the updates on Mars?
What?
There's a couple of updates. So remember that when we were talking about them having that area where they were going to stay that was made out of cement?
Yeah.
Well, they're opening it up to allow outsiders to come in. Anybody who has like a PhD or a master's.
Oh yeah,
in
because they
certain
need to find
things.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they're opening it up for them to go and stay there for a year, so they can do research and all that and push out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Not
Did
to
you
mention,
really? Did you really just use the Super Happy Fun Group
Yep.
as a citation, Casey?
They are a super happy fun group.
Okay,
They're
just checking.
happy shiny people.
Just checking.
But then they had a drone on Mars too. Apparently, one of the propellers caught, and it's busted, so it's no longer in working condition to
Yeah.
fly. camera still works. Data, it can still gather data, but it can't fly to where they were trying to do their mission.
Oh, the helicopter one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted that one to work. I was curious how the helicopter drone worked.
Well, they used
Right.
it. They used it a fair amount, right?
Yeah, they used it
It got
quite
a bunch
few
of times.
times. And they got quite a couple hundred miles out of it. It's just it broke the wing and just the propeller and can't fly anymore.
I just lit up my room 101.
Oh,
I figured I should name it since we haven't actually talked about cigars in this podcast at all.
I mean,
shout out to Tony at Forged.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Tony
Yeah.
hooked us up with these
Tony,
for this
Tony
purpose, right?
He suggested them. He was like, I still have some boxes. This is box 2012 out of 2025.
Wait, did I see on the Dunbarton order that we are getting the Papasaka and the Krakatoa?
You're welcome.
Yeah.
No questions asked. They just shipped them for
Now,
us.
if only they'd send me one of their cutters.
Well, I'm working on that. Okay, working on that.
Are we going to review the Krakatoa?
As soon as it gets in, yes.
You know, we're only going to have 3 cigars left after that.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah. Will they be here by Thursday for that party?
Yes, they will.
Perfect.
nice.
We got to go over how to set that up.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Anyone looking for a private party in a cigar shop, we do that.
Yes, we do.
That we do.
Little
Right.
plug.
There you go. Shameless plug.
Yep.
Shameless.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Other shameless plug. There you go. We got.
Oh, genius. It only
Yeah.
took us an hour.
We got those out of the way. I'm
That's
glad.
right. It always takes. Should we do it on opening?
I mean, technically, you can do it
We can-
whenever.
Yeah,
Well,
we
I
could
get,
do
I get
it
that we could do
anytime.
it whenever, but
Only-
like,
you know what? If they make it this far, those are the people we want. The real ones.
No,
Fair.
The real fans.
I mean, I think it would be nice to do more than once. Once at the beginning, at least.
Oh, that's
Once in the middle, maybe.
That's fair.
and once in the end, maybe.
And
I-
exactly.
I can confirm we have officially made it to 96.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
4 away
Have
from
we? I'm still
100.
only seeing
Yeah.
95.
No, the data takes a couple days to update on Sunday,
Okay.
so it was 96. So
Okay.
should be 96. So
I still
we're
want to know who we
full away.
lost.
We didn't lose anybody.
Oh, we didn't?
No, it was one of those. Apparently on Sundays it doesn't update, and then it has to load again.
Oh, okay.
So it takes like 2 days for it to officially load, but it went down and then it came back. So we didn't lose anyone.
Perfect.
We're gaining people, so I appreciate that. I appreciate the viewers.
It's a
Glad that they're coming.
slow march to success.
But that's what YouTube's always been. It's been a slow march because there's
Well,
so much on it.
Listen, the guys that did it early I mean, it was still hard because they didn't know what they were doing, but it was easier that they weren't competing with, I don't know, 20 million channels or how many are out there.
True.
Yeah.
Cue the Imperial March music. It's a slow march, but it's cool.
Dude, I had the Imperial March as the ringer on my phone for a long time.
Did you really?
Yes. I mean, no one ever accused me of being a Jedi, especially in my younger years working in bars.
I found my plaque that says I'm a Jedi.
Oh, yeah. No one ever accused me of that. So they asked, right? New general manager comes into a restaurant, and they're like, and you tell them, you were a director, you did whatever, and they're like, well, how'd you start in this business? Because they want to hear like, oh, I was a server, or like I started as a busboy and I worked my way up, and they're like, how did you start in this business? Like, beating the crap out of people. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I was a door guy.
Yeah. You ever see
And then I was a bartender.
You ever see Roadhouse? That was me, but in real life.
It changes the look on their face a little bit. They're like, oh. Yeah.
You're Patrick Swayze.
I don't think I'm ever going to be accused of looking like Patrick Swayze though. And now it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that movie.
Right.
I really am.
Oh my God! A
Curious
couple of the
to know.
servers were like, we decided that you remind us of all of our PE teachers when we were young. I was like, oh, good, that's solid. And they're like, no, it's a compliment. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, that's
The least paid
hurts.
ones.
That hurts. a
Yeah, I'm
little
like,
bit.
that stings.
Yeah,
that's just
that-
mean.
Ooh, that's mean.
They
Oh.
meant it in the most sincere way, though.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah,
That's rough.
they're good people.
PE teacher Lane.
The staff of that restaurant is really cool.
Well, I'm glad you like it, man.
Yeah,
that's fun.
It's a lot different than the casino, the last casino I was at. I mean, it's nothing so far as compared to the casino before that. That was an unfortunate situation that had nothing to do with me.
So
Yeah.
if it opens up again, would you take the spot?
At that property,
Yeah.
I don't know because the two guys that made it so much fun to work there are both gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'd be working for people that make worse decisions and do it more uncomfortably. Like the guy that's coming in here on Thursday is the guy that I worked for. And working for him was amazing. He's the most talented casino operator I've ever met. And I've met quite a few.
Yeah, I know.
This is
And,
fair.
I mean, he was skilled. I don't know why you let that guy go. He was the golden goose. And they're like, out with you. Like, wait, what? I'm sorry, you got rid of who? What are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing. Yeah, that Bagger Vance. That might have been
Have you
the
been
dumbest thing.
Have you been back?
No. I mean, listen, I like everybody there.
Right.
I would go back. I just haven't had occasion to. It's not like I hate the place. I still like some of the guys that work for me have come up. It's still like they still do a fantastic job. I still send people to their steakhouse because I'm so proud of it. It's still a really cool spot. It was just better, and at some point it's going to fall off when the last guy was an owner.
So the people that have come up and you've had conversations with, they're kind of like neutral on where it's at now, or
No. It's slowly diminishing.
got it.
But it's going to take a long time because he built such a reputation, that property. It's going to take a while.
Got it.
It's not going to happen fast. And they're not going to undo everything that he did immediately, but they're going to slowly unwind all the progress that he made, and then it's going to be just another shitty casino in northern Nevada. But it's going to take a while.
That's
And there's still
unfortunate.
some really talented people that work in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair.
Oh, speaking of casinos, Brother James went to the new Humidor Cigar Lounge.
Oh, in Elk Grove?
Yes.
What do you think?
I will show you the pictures.
Is
That-
it absurd?
It's absurd.
just beautiful.
The bar alone, there's a whole top shelf of like all the Pappies, all the Elijahs, like all
Yeah, but I would expect that.
all the Wellers. The Humidor looks like it should be on the Enterprise.
Okay.
It's
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 fantastic.
gorgeous.
We got to take a field trip.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you the pictures in a little bit.
Speaking of which, when is brother? He's missed like 3 podcasts after he was
I
committed.
know he's committed to make an appearance. He actually tried to call me while we were filming, so shame on him.
Oh, today?
Yeah.
Like just now?
Just
you should-
like an hour
Should
ago.
have answered it.
No, because I shamed him for not watching. He said he's watching, so I
That's-
believe he's one of the 6 viewers. He's watching.
That's why you shame him.
That's why I shamed him. Yeah, I'm yeah.
Shame on Brother James.
Brother James. We
Hey,
shamed
is this Nicapuro?
you. Yeah. Yes.
That's good. It's good.
Yes, it is.
I mean, it's so as in the wine world you'd say it's varietally correct.
Whoa. That's advanced.
It's unabashedly a Nicapuro.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Tony. He said this. He was. When I called him. All right, and I'm gonna call him out right now. Bastard was on a cruise, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just smoking the Room 101 12th anniversary."
Can we get any more of these?
I think he said he has a couple boxes, so if you want, I can order another box or two.
I think we should get what he's got.
And then I think the 15th comes out soon,
Okay.
and then that we're gonna be on the list for that one too. So
But I think we should get
these are good.
more of these.
These are very good.
We haven't even started the review. I'm saying we should get more of these.
Yeah, I know. I just lit mine up, and I'm already with you.
I'm
like,
about
this
to
is a
light
good,
mine.
This is a good cigar.
Yeah. I mean, this is what I want from a Nicapuro. This is what Liga after Steve Saka is trying to be.
Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
it's got the same color too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got
Same
yeah.
oil.
Oh, that dark oily color.
Everything about it. This is what Liga is trying to be right now.
Yes.
This is what they lost. Someone else found it, and good on them. Yeah.
I agree. The poor Liga.
I'm saving my comments for the review.
No, that's fair. What's it? We've talked up quite a bit. You guys want to end this and set up and bank our reviews?
We can if you want.
I
No,
mean, I'm
I-
going to smoke this fast.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
that's
else
fair.
you want to talk about?
I mean, is there anything else that we really need to talk about? The
Not-
2A stuff is on hold. There's a bunch of lower level. There's some stuff that the Supreme Court might take up, but we don't know yet.
Okay.
Which is when I really want to start talking about it because I don't care what the circuit courts are doing.
I leave things
Oh,
for
you
the
don't?
Supreme Court and everything for you to come up with.
Not at this point, because we're not going to know it. At some point in the near future, the Supreme Court is going to grant writ of cert on a 2A case, and until they do, we're not, because all the liberal circuits are going against it all the conservative circuits are going with the Bruin decision, but everyone's just ignoring it because it was just ambiguous enough that they can fuck around. And I feel like at some point, the Supreme Court is going to play find out.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah, fuck around and find out.
They're just,
I mean, so it sounded like from the people that I was listening to is that there's some traction beginning to be made, and maybe not.
I think what they mean is that there are some cases with records that are being submitted for cert to the Supreme Court.
Cert.
So is this
Certiorari.
is this discovery technically?
No.
Oh, okay.
So everything up until then, since Bruin, has been submitted to the Supreme Court on a TRO basis, like an emergency stay kind of basis, right? The Supreme Court doesn't take those cases hardly ever in any area because they want a full record. They want the full case out of the federal court. They want the full appeals hearing out of the circuit court, and then they want to grant cert, and they want to issue a ruling on the merits. And you can't do that on a TRO.
Yeah, you can't do that until it's all been commented about or established that this is their position.
Yeah, so when they say they're getting traction, what they mean is we've applied for cert in a number of cases.
Right.
But they haven't even gone to conference yet, much less has the Supreme Court granted cert.
Right.
And it's unlikely that the first ones are where they're going to grant cert on. The Supreme Court gets to cherry pick their cases because they want the perfect record to make their decision.
Got it.
Okay.
So, and not granting cert doesn't mean anything. It just means it's not the case they want.
So the more information they have, the better.
Yes, they
Yeah.
want to work with as much information, the fullest record possible.
Yeah,
The
as they
fullest
should.
record with the best facts.
As they should.
So don't they get bundled together, so to speak?
Only if the Supreme Court wants to.
Okay.
So even though some of them are making lower court moves to bundle together, it
The
really
Supreme
is
Court gets to grant cert on whatever they want.
whatever they want.
The Supreme Court gets to grant cert, even if they grant cert on a full case, they don't have to accept all of the questions presented. They can change the questions presented.
Really?
Yeah, like there can be 4 questions presented in the writ for cert, and they might take one of them. They're like, we're going to decide this one issue in this case, and that's it.
And that one issue will address all the others,
Not necessarily.
or it will.
It'll just default to whatever the circuit court said on the other issues, if they want. This
So-
is the Supreme Court. They get to do whatever they want.
So I get that.
They
but-
make up their own rules.
That's their job.
So regardless of where the position is on the lower courts, it's vague. It's not vague. It's
Well, the
It's-
only thing that's precedent,
it's inconsequential, I guess.
sort of, the only thing that's precedent out of the Supreme Court, technically speaking, is the issue they decided and the test they created, right? The other stuff, you can just do whatever you want and then go back to the Supreme Court. Now, oftentimes courts in the past haven't done this, but we have such divisive courts now, like such divided courts, that they're just going flat out against the Supreme Court on a lot of these issues because that wasn't the issue decided in Bruin. They're like, oh, Bruin doesn't apply because it was talking about this and we're talking about this, right? So they're finding ways to divide, to basically cut the decision up into pie pieces. They're like, this is the pie piece we have to follow, and all of these we can put a bunch of whipped cream on and do whatever we want.
Wow.
And then the Supreme Court will say,
I mean,
take
they have
the
the
whipped
they have
cream.
the final say,
Yeah.
essentially.
But only if they want it.
Right. They have to want to, or get bothered enough by it that they finally come out and say, "This is how this is it. Stop calling us."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the question presented, the question that they're going to decide is largely up to them. Like you can write the questions presented. You're like, these are what we want you to decide. In the Supreme Court, there's going to be 5. The Supreme Court's going to be like, no. I think we should decide that one. No. And they'll decide one issue of 5.
Gotcha.
That's not always how it goes, but the Supreme Court can do that.
Oh, okay.
And then
So
the
they
only thing that'll come out of that ruling that's precedent is the part of the ruling that relates to the question presented and the issue they're deciding. Everything else will be dicta, even though it was in a case that they granted cert on and that they
Dicta?
heard oral arguments on.
Dicta?
Dicta is like, so there's in every Supreme Court decision, there's dicta. It's the majority opinion just talking, but it's not a decision about an issue in the case.
That's like short for dictation.
Yeah, it's like it's persuasive in the future, but it's not controlling.
Okay.
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 So I'm a little confused
I can tell.
because there's magazine bans, there's AR bans, and
Like, all
they
right.
may not take up those questions.
Say there's a case that is covering magazine bans, AR bans, and featureless AR regulations, right? Featureless rifle regulations.
Right.
The Supreme Court gets it, and they're like, well, we really want to decide AR bans, but we're not going to take a position on featureless pistols, and we don't think there's a full enough record to decide, in this case, on magazine bans. So the question presented that we're going to address is a ban on assault-style rifles valid under the Constitution and our previous decisions? And they'll just leave out the other two.
And what happens with those?
Well,
they
up in-
operate underneath this lower courts.
Yes, whatever the circuit decided is controlling within that circuit, right? So the Ninth Circuit's ruling will be controlling in the Ninth Circuit. The Fifth Circuit's ruling will be controlling inside the Fifth Circuit, right? So it remains parsed law throughout the country until the Supreme Court gets a case on that issue that they want to take up. Now, they don't have to do that, but they can.
Okay. So I'm going to go a different direction here, or maybe a sideways. So how would ghost guns fall into those decisions?
Again, it'd be completely separate.
Okay.
Is an 80% manufactured receiver without a barcode, without a serial number, a firearm or not? Separate issue. Separate question presented.
And so the Supreme Court can or cannot, no, can if it decides to
That's
pick
Yep.
that
Yep.
up.
that is exactly the wording. It can if it decides to.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't have to, but if they want to, then they'll do it.
So, but so the lower court decisions are the ones that are going to stand.
It could be even worse. They could say something like, we think the AR ban in this form is not valid because X, but doesn't bring in constitutional questions. Whether or not an AR ban might be constitutional if done a different way remains an open question. They can do that.
Jesus.
You opened the can of worms.
If I wasn't confused before, I certainly am now.
I mean, the summary
makes sense.
summary is the Supreme Court can do whatever it wants.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it makes sense. I just wish we would know.
It is frustrating not to have the clarification that we were hoping to get from Bruin.
Right.
They're going to have to come out and be far more deliberate. I don't know. I think at some point they will be willing to do that. I don't know when. And I don't know for what case. And neither does anyone else, regardless of what they say out loud.
Including the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I mean, fair chance they don't know when that's going to happen either.
Right.
Now, there might be certain justices that have already cherry-picked certain cases, and they're waiting for that case. So they're waiting to build their voting coalition to grant the writ of certiorari to a case until a certain case shows up, right? Because they have access to all that. Like, they can
Right.
see the records. They might know what case they want, and a lot of them have already been granted cert after Bruin, but then vacated and remanded to a lower court. They might have picked then. They're like, we want this one back. But you won't know that. Like, they're not going to say that out loud. You won't know it until they actually grant cert on it when it's resubmitted. So you just never know.
Yeah.
The thing is, you just never know. Now, the talking heads on GunTube can say what they want, but the truth is they don't know either because they're not like sitting in the room with the Supreme Court justice. The Supreme Court justices don't do that. And if they do that, apparently, I mean, if you believe ethical violations, they do it with people that have a lot more money than the guys talking on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, it's a wishing pool, essentially.
Yep.
They
It's a
they're
wishing well.
A wishing well.
But the real, what are they going to do? The answer is, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the answer for everybody else is, I don't know.
And
Yeah.
and what the populace wants is a determination from them. On bans.
Yes, on a lot of different bans.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of
They
different
want
type of bans.
a more overt ruling. And I think at some point we'll get it. I just don't know when.
Yeah, it'll be a while because they've issued Bruin and they figured, okay, we got to let this set and develop on its own. And
Yes.
I mean, I posed the question quite some time ago to you: is like, what happens if the lower courts just ignore Bruin?
Oh, wait, hold on. I do want to talk about Trump real fast.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not so much Trump
The
as
Georgia?
the prosecutor and the special counsel in Georgia.
that perjured themselves.
Oh, so I have to believe they
How did
made
they
it.
do that?
All right, so the Trump attorneys, I don't know if they're this smart or if it was completely on accident. I like to think they were this tactical. Even though I think Trump is a clown, I like that maybe someone was tactically thinking about this. So they put someone on the stand that they knew these two people would come up on the stand because they have to choose to be called, right? Because they're technically defendants and you don't have to testify. There's no obligation for defendants to testify.
Right.
But they baited him into it. They got these people up on the stand, and in front of a judge, they said, our romantic relationship didn't start until X. Now, they did a bunch of other shit that they're not going to be able to prove wrong. However, 3 days after that hearing, the Trump attorneys released a bunch of phone data. They'd subpoenaed the trackers on the dude's phone. And before he was hired, like 35 times, his phone was at her house until 4 or 5 in the morning. And now that evidence goes to the judge who they lied to. And they're like, we're gonna put out a statement that argues all of this. And in my head, I'm like, you would never tell your client to keep talking. Like, as best I can tell, your best option at this point is to say, yes, we lied, we're sorry, and take whatever punishment you get. Because the more you talk, at this point, they're going to be disqualified. If this is accurate information, they're going to be disqualified.
As far as their testimony.
Well, they're not going to be allowed to try Trump.
Could they?
And they're going to disqualify the entire county because she's the head of the office. They're going to move it to some red county that's like, we don't need to prosecute that, and it's just going to disappear.
Oh.
That's not what these attorneys need to worry about at this point. What they need to worry about is if they keep talking, being disbarred and never being allowed to practice law again because they perjured themselves in front of a judge.
Did they say it was that they just didn't remember, or?
No, they said they didn't do it.
Oh.
They made a statement that
Yes.
this is their position.
And then 3 days later, the Trump attorneys, and I don't know, there's probably some discovery issues if they had it and they didn't release it. But they probably just knew it was coming. They released this. It's like, oh yeah, what about these 35 times conservatively that you were at her house until 5 in the morning?
And they're
Oh,
like,
we were
"We
working
effed
on a case that didn't exist yet. Oh, okay. Like they're effed in the most spectacular way.
So they're
That's
definitely
amazing.
going to get disbarred.
I don't know if they're definitely going to get disbarred. They're definitely going to be disqualified from this case.
That's amazing.
Okay.
And my guess is they're going to disqualify the entire county.
Are they going to?
Like the entire county that Atlanta is in is going to, their whole DA's office is going to be DQ'd, and they're going to move it to some other rural red county in Georgia. It's going to be like, fuck it. Yeah. But the more they talk, the more they fight this, the more likely they are to be disbarred.
Wow. That's crazy.
They're like, I mean, it's one thing, lie. All right, I lied. That a lot of attorneys lie, right, and survive. But they're going to lie, and then they're going to keep lying.
In front of a judge?
In front of it, and the judge is going to go,
Well-
and then the ethical committee is going to go, Yeah.
weren't they under oath?
Oh, dude, they were
Yeah.
in court.
Yeah. Okay.
They're
Yeah.
all
So they were
under
swore.
They were testifying under penalty of perjury to a judge.
And perjured.
You,
Yes.
You lied after you put your hand on the Bible. Ooh.
I couldn't, when I saw that come out, it's like, oh, I'm sorry. What do you have now? Blew my mind.
Sneaky lawyers.
And that's all I wanted to say about I just think it's hilarious. Like, they got wound up in a spectacular folly. Yeah.
So you've been able to keep more track now that work's lightened up a little bit for after the first week?
No, I worked the same number of hours. That actually came up. Someone showed me that at work.
Oh, wow.
And then we talked about it for a while. I just thought that was so entertaining.
Oh, no doubt.
Like,
Yeah.
as it actually fits a description I've used for a particular person telling lies in the past. They got caught up in what is 100% a woven tale of wonderment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I like if that comes out as accurate, they're so spectacularly effed. Like
yeah.
just so effed.
Wow.
I mean, I hope they can get money on the speaking tour.
All right.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, on that note,
Yeah, on that bombshell.
On that note, this has been another Daily Torch. If you guys have made it this far, go ahead and give us a like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you guys staying and watching this long.